Okay, this is part 5. All I'm doing is just tying everything together now. I worked on this off camera and put in some of the other side. A lot of it's repeat. You know, if you do something over here, it's going to be the same over there, except this side is darker. Okay, so, and I'm not going for any photorealism kind of thing. I'm going for a realistic and fantasy kind of look. So, anyway, let me just look at my reference photo and start putting in more of what I see. I got to keep stepping back. I'm trying to keep a little balance going on here. Okay, let's try to get this way here, this angle. This is going to be a little bit of a lighter area. And there's going to be kind of a separation where the mane is going back off the head part there. Lots of little dagger strokes, feather strokes far away. Here, try to spread this way. These are orangey and a little bit more yellow, golden color. I wanted to show you guys, okay, the overspray as far as cleaning out. I told you about the little buckets here, but I switched back over to what I used to use a while back, and that is batting that you can buy in a fabric store. There's a little paper towel down in the bottom, but the batting is really good to absorb so the spray doesn't come back out. The paper towel kind of shoots it back out at you. And so just a little tip of something that I do that will help you with the breathing department. Okay, we're going to go down this way. Now some of this gets little dagger strokes. These little dots are not just dots. Some of them are, but there's fur coming off of them, so you can kind of just, you know, just, some of them are dots up here, and then they start to look more like furs crossing over and strands, little individual. Some of the stuff is very light. This whole area is darker. I'm going to just start putting more color. The more color I put here, the more I could put some white and lighter strokes of the fur that's going. You have to have, like I said down on the bottom when we did the chin area, you have to have the darker area in order for the lighter area to show up. So just and at this stage, I'm going to be kind of a few more strands of hairs, fur, whatever you want to call it. Just get that hair on and get that rhythm going and get that curve. You'll get a double-sided dagger stroke. It just happens because it's a big stroke, and by the time you do the point this way, it just works back and forth to just do it all in one stroke. Then we have some shading over here. Now this is below your view from up in this area. All I'm trying to do is get an established area that I can bring in some lights on top of later on. This will probably be the last demonstration video on this, and I'll show you the finished piece. Again, to do the light fur is the same thing. If I come back in between here and I want to put a few brighter strands in, it's the same thing. It's just, you just keep working it, you know. Okay, so let's get some more tone on here. Quiet down some of that orange. This is fluorescent orange under here. Again, this is more of a fantasy kind of piece of artwork. So the colors are more in the hot colors and whatever I want to put in it. It's just, I'm not trying to match a photograph for a photorealistic lion. I'm trying to just make it look nice and fantasy-like, I keep saying. A little shading in here, a little more. Got to keep looking at it because I don't want to ruin what I got. Okay, I see a little more darkness in this area, here, far away. Skip an area, there's more white in there. So let's see, we'll just come back this way, like that. Boy, I wish I could do a left hand and a right hand. There is an airbrush artist on YouTube. I don't know his name or anything. He can do 2 portraits, and one is different, a male and a female or whatever, and he's doing the portraits with, I just don't know how he does it. It's all at the same time, or even if he's not using the airbrush. I think he's using the airbrush, but even if he wasn't, right hand, left hand, making images. So when you start doing, hope you guys can see down here, I'll try to do it in this area. Whoops, got a little too fat there. Okay, the actual white is a little too watered down for now, so I'm gonna have to just kind of do light spraying, and I'll go in and thicken it up for the brighter areas. Okay, and we can pull some of this out this way. Hopefully it'll light up. Feather stroke, just tapers in between. I think we got a little bit of light going in here. And that's it, but the other side goes into a very dark area. Whoops. Okay, there's a little spot I didn't want to get, so we just come back with the brown. Knock it back into the picture. All right, so get the, I'm going to use a toothbrush. I've already tested it on here to make sure. And I'm going to just come in here. I got a little water on my palette. I'll kind of show you this too. Okay, so you have your water drop over here, a little water and a little bit of paint. You don't want, you want to test it on a piece of paper or something. In this case, I'll test it off camera on, actually it will be on camera. I move this. Okay. So it gives me some speckles. These are things that the person that takes this t-shirt away will notice all this little detailing that's in the picture, but the reference picture, but it's not something that maybe you could see so much on the camera. So all I'm doing is, and I do want to hit that with the hair dryer. It's just a speckle kind of thing going on here. Not a real lot, just a few spots. Less is more. That's what we're taught, so that's what we do. You know, you do too much and it starts, you overdo it. It's just overkill. Just a little bit's going on there, right in the center, and I only really see it in this area, maybe a little bit over here. And again, you're not probably seeing too much of it on camera. I could go to lighter colors too, and then it would be back and forth. It's really good to use for if you're doing pavement or whatever. You can also do it with the airbrush by playing around with the air pressure and back and forth kind of moves. Like you can cut off the air, build up paint on here, and kind of just, you know, sloppily test it on paper, let a little air out, and you get different spatter effects. And you can do it off of a popsicle stick, tongue depressor, and get really nice granite. And some of the other airbrushes, actually, you take part of the nozzle off, and the head assembly rather, part of it, front part, and you'll get a steady spray of it because it just does it automatically. I think my HP Plus gun does that. I don't remember exactly, but there's all kinds of ways to do the spatter. Okay. Over here I put in the cross. This is for my friend. He's a pastor, and this is a gift for him. So it's going to be very meaningful to him and meaningful to me too. Very meaningful. Okay, I'm going to bring some of this shading out here. Step back and look at it. Okay, right in here. A little darker. Now there's going to be lighter ones coming out over there. And I'm going to darken this a little more. Now this side actually is more extreme. He fades right into nothing in the referencing picture. I might not do that exact. You know, you can change things as you go, but it does look kind of cool having one side fade out more, but it almost looks a little lost in the real picture, so I'll decide how much I want to fade that off camera, you know, looking at it. Might just leave it as it is. Get in real close and go for the individual dagger strokes. These are very far away and fogged out. They have a little bit of fur hanging off them, but there's kind of like it's almost like it dips. It's like a shadow above it right here. Like it dips down like a fold. Okay, there's one more little something going on there, which represents this side. These are a little darker as they go up to the edge, and then this curves up a little bit. You don't have to put fur everywhere. I mean, there's ways to just put it in the right places, and it will look good just by putting it on the nose, putting it on the mane, and in here. Everywhere else, you can get your highlights back and forth, that kind of stuff, but you don't have to put it everywhere. Once you look at it when it's done, and you come to the conclusion that it looks good to your eye, that's when you say it's done. It is a whole nother story when you're trying to try to do a photorealistic type of image. That's another story, because everything has to be dead on. The color matching has to be dead on, accurate, detailing. I'm going to get a side cup, which put a little, actually, I'm going to take the fluorescent yellow. Again, this is not a photorealistic painting. It's just a cool looking realistic painting. It has some pretty stuff going on inside of it. Okay. There we go. Better behave. Alright, so some more yellow in here. Just some more brownish yellow over this. Just give it a little more color up in here. Just some color. And that'll carry on. Again, it's whatever I want to do. You know. Oh yeah, I wanted to kind of put it right in here. That's a white highlight. It's already there. Just put a little yellow there first. Color's better. But the white will be there to allow me to put this highlight in. That's now in color. The nice thing about it, I can also brighten up the rest of the eye. The transparent's just layer upon layer. It's really, really cool to do that. All right, let's see. Yellow. More in here. There's going to be more orange in this area. But it's almost looking like that color. And over here, I think that the edge is more maybe sand as he's running or whatever. It's like churning. Same kind of color almost as the main, but it's just, oh, now it's spattering. There's another way to get spattered. Don't wipe off the tip drying. All right, so yellow. A little bit more over here. Okay, and this white highlight, again, I've got to just work. There we go. There on. Very carefully. Now, I went a little bit lower than, it's probably in that area there, but a little bit lower than I wanted to go. Just add a little color over there. That looks pretty. All right, so these hot colors can really make the painting look really cool. It's looking green over there a little bit. A little color shifting on me. All right, down here, probably out of your view a little bit. Now I got a bit more yellow, bit too much yellow, but orange is the next color. Again, I'm using the fluorescents for making this look real pretty. Getting rid of that. Going to my orange now. I was going to stay away from some of the hotter colors, but the more I looked at the reference I'm looking at, I think it's just nice looking. It's different. It's going to look pretty when you're wearing this. You know, it's going to be a eye catcher. And I see some of this orange just on the edge, right there. So it's far away. Put some color in, and can turn this yellow maybe a little more orangey. Yeah, it almost looks brown. That's what I want. And then it kind of just comes up like almost like a little, it's more brown in here. I'll do it with the brown in a minute. And then here, so he's got a lot of color. He's got more orange out this way. I'll spray brown over that. It's more yellow over there. Maybe I'll put some orange over in there. Okay, so spraying out the yellow now, the orange, and I am going to just kind of get, in case there's any large pieces, being that I'm doing this setup where I don't have all the guns. All right, so I want to get a little color on that area. I'm thinking violet. So give me a second because I didn't pull it out. Let's see, I got some blue. I want some blue and the violet. Okay. I'll go with the blue first. This one looks very colorful and bright. Remember, I'm putting it already over. It's actually in the eye too, but I'll do that in a minute. I'm just going to put a little color in this boring black and white. Try to get a little more just for when you see it. Orange and blue, they're opposites. They look really nice next to each other. A little blue around, put blue haze around just to give it some prettiness. Out of your view here for a minute, I'm going to fire a little blue into the chin at the bottom. And that looks nice. And in the eye, I have my green in there already, but I've messed with the eye, really kind of doing it over and over again, just fooling around with it. Little blue haze around the pupil. Like the green. So just seeing it in person, you'd be like, wow, it goes from blue to green to the yellow. It's just very pretty. I'm spraying even onto the black so I don't go too far into the green. This angle over here is hard. That looks nice. I'm happy with that. All right. I'm going to put